Hello and welcome to Kickstarter Conversations. Let's talk. My name's James Yee, and as always, I'm here to talk about the latest and greatest in Kickstarter. But what is Kickstarter exactly? Well, Kickstarter is a rewards-based crowdfunding program. What that means is when you give people the monies, you don't actually have a stake in it. You only get a certain reward as specified in the campaign. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so let's back it up. What's crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is when a whole bunch of people get together, give a creator some money to do whatever they want with it. Not necessarily that simplistically, but crowdfunding is nothing new. We've been crowdfunding since the church was invented, and even before then probably. Essentially, PBS crowdfunding, churches are crowdfunding, and of course my favorite example is Girl Scouts. The Girl Scouts are the #1 example of crowdfunding. I mean, seriously, do you think $5 for a single box of cookies is worth it? You know, financially? Not for the cookies necessarily, but the extra money is going for the kids. And who could say no to a cute little Girl Scout, eh? You know, I know my daughter is really hard to say no to as it is. Let me show you how Kickstarter works. Hey Bella, come here. Come here. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, Emma.
Say hi to the camera.
Hi, Emma.
Now this is the Girl Scout effect. Look at her face. Look at her. You can't say no to her. Say hi.
Hi.
You say, give me money.
Money.
Thanks, Bella. Give me 5. So that's crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is basically just getting a whole bunch of money together to reach a goal. Be it a trip to Washington, D.C., marching band excursion, you know, what have you. What Kickstarter's done is taken crowdfunding to the internet. In this case, in a rewards-based format. So instead of, say, buying stock, which is a stakes-based crowdfunding, in rewards-based, you just get something like a box of cookies. In Kickstarter's case, most of the time it's like a copy of the game if it's a game, or a product like the watch for the Pebble Watch, things like that. And then there are upper level rewards for more people to give you more money and to get better rewards. More specialized stuff, like getting your face in the game, your name in the random name generator, you know, special etched versions, different colors that will only be available on Kickstarter, etc., etc., etc. So, why care about it? Why do I make conversations about Kickstarter on a regular basis? Well, because I'm a creative person, but not the most creative person in the world. But I enjoy backing other people who are more creative than me and have the gumption to actually go out there and try. And that's very, very important, because what Kickstarter does is it gives people a way to come together and support those who are actually trying to do new and creative things. This is especially true in the board games and video game markets, where the people who have the money, all the publishers stuff, tend to be a little gun-shy when it comes to really weird and off-topic games. Like, for instance, FTL, or Faster Than Light. That game came out just last year, and it was a big hit with a lot of people, but when the people were telling you about it, it's little pixel people running around on a little spaceship, and it randomly repeats over and over again. Who wants to make that? Well, a couple guys wanted to make that and asked the community, and enough people joined them, including myself, to pay for it. And ta-da, now you have FTL out there, which has been critically acclaimed and has done quite well for itself. Another game in the board gaming market that probably wouldn't have seen the light of day if it wasn't for Kickstarter was this one right here. Oop, I hate sunlight. Gunship First Strike. Now, this is an interesting story. The guy had been working on the game design for 12 years. 12 years, at least, from his times working in the sign industry, moving on up and totally reiterating and playtesting over and over and over again, and yet, you know, here he is, he's got a game, but he doesn't have a publisher. And in board games, nothing's made unless you have the money. And without the money, he couldn't actually get more than a couple prototypes out there. And he wasn't gaining the attention or getting the word out there enough. Then Kickstarter comes along, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to give this thing a try. He does a good ground game, does a good everything, and it explodes like bananas. And ta-da, we have the game. And that's the essence what Kickstarter is all about, is getting those individual people, you, me, my daughter, anybody who has a great concept can come out here and sell you the concept. You, the backer. If we can sell you, the backer, the concept, and enough of you join in, ta-da, it's funded. Now, don't think that this thing is all about just taking the money and running. Okay? While it could happen possibly, it hasn't happened yet. Okay? One big reason why it doesn't is because Kickstarter is an all or nothing thing. If I have a really dumb project, I have horrible video, what have you, and nobody backs it, except for like a couple people give me $100, they didn't actually give me the money yet, because the $100, for instance, doesn't actually get taken out of anybody's credit cards until the Kickstarter completes and hits a goal. Without that goal being hit, no money's taken loss, no harm, no foul. I know I've backed a couple Kickstarters that probably pretty junky, but I wanted to support the guy who needed the help, and they ended up coming back and they've done better now. So, way to go. But the first time through, he didn't make his goal. I wasn't charging anything. He didn't get anything. No harm, no foul. He took a couple months, came back, and now did a much better job. So it's a learning experience for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of folks in Kickstarter running campaigns are not business people. And I think that's one of the things people have to really be concerned about when it comes to Kickstarter. Is that yes, we get all these great, wonderful ideas. And then you get people who have no idea how to manage money, run a business, anything, getting $25,000 in one lump sum. And now it's like, what do I do with all that money? And as we've seen recently with Axes and Anvils, that people don't know what to do with the money or use it poorly, and all of a sudden you may have gone 18,000 above your goal, and that might have been the problem, is that you threw on all those extra stretch goals and you didn't know what to do with it, and now you're late and or don't show up at all. So that's the biggest concern I have right now with Kickstarter. It's still a great thing, don't get me wrong. It's a great project, it's a great thing to work with, but at the same time, the people can run away with themselves, victims of their own success. For instance, again, the Gunship First Strike, I have it now, I physically have a copy, but the guy who made it is like $3,000 in debt. He made, his Kickstarter was like like 24,000. I mean, he well over his goal Kickstarter, but because of shipping costs, customs costs, all these things that he wasn't prepared for, he ended up losing money on it. And that's what happens in business, is if you don't know how to run a proper business plan, you can run out of money. Same thing with Kickstarter. Kickstarter is, even though it says specifically, not for starting a business, starts businesses. It's just that up to you, as a potential backer, to be prepared that a lot of these people are not business people. So they're going to come creative, they're going to talk to you like creatives do. They're going to tell you about their vision, their plans. They'll show you the pretty pictures. They'll tell you all these great videos and stories. And it's up to you to keep on them to deliver the goods. Seriously. For instance, Serpent's Tongue. That's another Kickstarter that I've backed. And it's a great CCG game, but it's almost a year late. Past their goal, and they revised their goal just before the end of the campaign. But they're also a victim of their own success. Is they got so much money, they got so many people involved that they figured out, wait, stuff's wrong, let's back it up, and they kept adding stuff and adding stuff and adding stuff, and eventually, people start saying, hey, we're not believing you anymore. This is going to get messed up. So they're finally, sounds like they're getting ready to go into shipping. Yay! And there's another thing you almost always hear about Kickstarters. Kickstarters are always late. And it's not necessarily true, not all Kickstarters, but yes, a large majority are late, especially the wildly successful ones, because all of a sudden they have all this extra money and all these stretch goals that, of course, are going to change your schedule because you've just added stuff that you weren't planning to build before. So these are all things that you have to worry about. But at the same time, am I warning you against Kickstarter? No. I still think it's a great thing. Like I said, I have physical products here. I've gotten a couple video games out of it. So I can literally say it works. Is it buyer beware? Of course it is. I think everybody should know buyer beware is extremely key. But some people go into this thinking it's a store. It's not a store. It's not a pre-order system. These things are not made yet. 90% of the time, these things aren't even built yet. So don't think that this is, hey, I'm going to pre-order. It's just like anything else. You want to make sure you got a reputable guy, somebody you can trust, or a company you've worked with before, or somebody whose idea is good, but you're going to bid a little lower than you might normally go because you just don't know. There's some great independent filmmakers out there that never heard of because, well, who's going to hear anybody right now? Film market is extremely hard to break into, and it's up to these guys to do it. And so yeah, give them $20. $20 is not a big deal. But be prepared to lose it in case nothing happens of it, or don't expect to get anything back from it for like a year. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, this is just like giving kids money for cookies. It's for a good cause. It's to help people realize their dreams, and you get something out of it too. Now, maybe Kickstarter's not for you. Maybe you're not from America or England. Then there's other ones. There's Indiegogo is another one in Europe. That's a great one, but it doesn't necessarily follow Kickstarter's rule. It's not always an all or nothing thing. They will charge you the money right away. And if it doesn't reach its goal, the people can say, no, send it back. And you get your money back. Or they don't reach their goal, they can say, I'm going to still take it. So you'll still give them the money regardless. So be aware that there are differences between every single crowdfunding system. And I might do specific videos on each one in the future. If you want, just go ahead and ask down below. But by and large, this video series is going to be about individual Kickstarters that I find interesting. A weekly what's caught my attention kind of video. So for now, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back, subscribe, do whatever feels you should. And I hope you read the blog, KickstarterConversations.com soon. I'm trying to get that name transferred. But until then, it's, again, down here and below in the notes, Kickstarter Conversations, Kickstarter-conversations.blogspot.com, or just follow the links.